Pisces, hello, it's the Scorpio Stellium here. I'm going to do your predictions for the week of October 11th through 17th. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I'm going to actually talk you through the conclusions that I come to from the cards. So what the cards actually mean and why I read the way that I do and what the astrological associations with the cards are so that you can learn while you're getting your prediction done. And if you don't want to learn, that's fine. Just ignore that part. You'll still get a lot of value out of it. At the end, I'm going to do something else a little bit different. So stay tuned for your message from the divine, because what I'm going to do is it in a pick a card format. So I'm not just going to say, here's your message. I'm going to give you one of three cards and I'm going to tell you what your personalized message is. All right, so let's dive into this, Pisces, because I know y'all have had a hell of a time lately. So I'm ready for it to get better. I know you're ready for it to get better. Okay, it's getting better. Whew, finally. You guys have had, you and Cancer, I feel like both have had some really challenging reads lately. Okay, so what we're starting out with here is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is this celebratory kind of everybody coming together. It's reversed, but it is next to the Four of Cups, which is the celebration, okay? It is the reconciliation. So this tells me a couple things. It tells me that there has been a period of time that you and a situation have not been good. It's not been good with somebody else. It could be with your friends and it could be with a loved one. It could be with women in your family or other female supportive roles. But it, like I said, it can be with a relationship as well, where things just aren't right in that relationship. And this is the, it's Mercury in Cancer, which is discussing how it's like conversations are biting. It's like where we want them to be supportive, because Mercury is communication and Cancer is nurture and support and like that maternal sort of energy. It's reversed here, so we're not getting the supportive speech. So somebody may have not treated you very nicely or is not going to this week, but then it looks like it gets resolved here, because right after it is the Four of Wands. So it doesn't look like this energy is carrying through to the whole week. The Four of Wands is when it's like, okay, we're going to have a little get together. We're going to have a little powwow. And I can say that because I'm Native American. But we're going to have a little powwow where everybody is kind and we work out our stuff. And this can even be a reconciliation where somebody's coming back into your life, actually. Next to that, we have the reverse judgment card, where it looks like there's a little bit of a delay on the complete healing of whatever rift was established. I think that for the most part, it looks much nicer, but it still seems like there's something that needs to be addressed. There may be some fear of actual judgment here. There may be some fear of what somebody is going to say, and you may be feeling that heat where you're like, how are people thinking of me? How is my family viewing what my actions have been? How are my friends viewing it? Are people looking down on me? The middle of the week, we have the reverse Nine of Swords, the reverse Five of Swords next to each other. Thank God they're reversed, because I think that you guys have actually had these cards upright recently. And I see this here as being finally the stress feels alleviated. We're taking the pressure off a little bit with the Nine of Swords, which is Mars in Gemini. So when you apply Mars, all that force into Gemini, which is about thoughts, you get anxiety. And this is telling me, since the card is reversed, that the anxiety is lessened now. We're like turning down the heat on the boiling pot of water, finally. And one of the reasons is because the reverse Five of Swords next to it tells me that the battle wasn't worth it. Nobody was going to win it anyway. And so thankfully you realize that it was just not worth, wasn't worth the challenge. It wasn't worth the fight. It wasn't worth the battle. You had to pick your battles. And this one wasn't, it wasn't worth your time. You know how I told you, I think it was the last week, you had to have like a cathartic cry. And it looks like we've finally gotten to that point where you've gone a little bit easier on yourself. And you've moved past some of this anxiety. Next to it, we have the High Priestess. She's ruled by the moon. This is our intuition. And I think it's just telling us here that you have followed your heart in this matter to the best of your ability. And that is promoting growth, and that's promoting healing, and you're getting to the point that you've figured out what the lessons were here with your challenge. Your challenges could be plural. The last line here is a little peculiar. And I'm going to come back to this reverse King of Cups because that's just an oddball sitting there. The Knight of Cups, I don't know if I said king or knight, but the Knight of Cups is reversed, is about somebody who is all talk in romance and no action, or they're the heartbreaker, or they're the player, one of those. And he's kind of weird sitting here. So we're going to come back to him. We have the Three of Pentacles here next to Temperance. And this is telling me that you have your tribe, your people that are there for you, that are helping you now on your journey towards your healing, towards forgiveness. And I think that this has to do with you forgiving other people as well as yourself. You tried so hard in something, and it felt like for a while it hadn't amounted to anything. Like it didn't make a damn bit of difference. But now you are realizing that your efforts were not all for naught. They were not lost on anybody, and that you're being recognized for how hard you worked and how your struggle was. You know, it's like people are walking a mile in your shoes, and you're feeling like this is a time for healing. This is a time for healing. This is a time for harmony in your life, and having this Temperance card along with the Four of Wands, both are showing me the same kind of energy, and it is this healing energy. So like I said, I'm really glad that this week looks a hell of a lot better than it did before. I'm going to go ahead and start to clarify, and I'm going to start with this Knight of Cups reversed, because I know we saw a lot before where you were not getting the support that you needed. And the Knight of Cups almost has that same kind of feel to it to me, but the rest of the reading doesn't. And I just find it strange how he's showing up here. So we're going to clarify the Knight of Cups. Clarified with strength, and the reverse Nine of Wands. Okay. So I feel that this is an energy, this is a fire sign kind of person in your life. So strength is Leo associations, but the Wands cards are any of the fire signs. So Aries, Leo, and Sag. And I think that this is you needing to let your guard down. And despite the fact that this person seems like they may not be really on your side, I think that they are indeed there, because it's right next to the Three of Pentacles. I think it's a matter of you maybe misreading what somebody's intentions are, because the Nine of Wands reverse is saying you can go ahead and put your sword down. There's no need to fight over this. This person is actually here to help you. We're going to go ahead and clarify the reverse Three of Cups as well up at the top. This seems like a little issue with friends, with women, or with relationships in your life. And I want to see what that's about. Clarified by the Chariot and the World. So these cards are really telling me that it is on its way to being resolved anyway. The Chariot is progress and victory and triumph and resolution, next to the World, which is completion. It's come full circle. It's accomplishment. So it all, despite the fact that things have been difficult before, they are all coming out better now. You've been in the slump, and you're coming back up to the top, and you feel good about it. It's finally feeling this relief that you have needed so badly. Let's go ahead and clarify the reverse Judgment, because I think that this here is a fear of how you may be seen by other people. King of Cups, so that's going to be who you are fearing the judgment from. And I think that this is from an emotionally balanced person. And I think you are always trying to get the approval of this individual because they are so kind and they seem to have all their shit together. This can be a fellow water sign like Cancer, Scorpio, or another Pisces, but it's a person that really is your counsel, you go to them for advice, or you admire the way that they handle things, and you just don't want to be found lacking to them. Well, let's clarify the reverse Five of Swords, where you feel like, I don't even think this fight is worth it anymore. I'm done. Let's just let it go. Let bygones be bygones. We're going to clarify that with the Page of Swords. It seems like there's a message, a communication that's taking place, because pages are all communicative cards, because pages are messengers, and then the Swords card in particular is the most talky of all of them, being an air sign. So there's conversations, messages coming in, things are being discussed, and that's why they're being resolved. It's like, okay, we realize that maybe this thing that we've been dealing with, we don't have to deal with anymore. We've already solved it, so let's just leave it behind us. Let's take a look at the High Priestess. I gotta tell you guys, in all honesty, I've been reading cards for 15 years, and the High Priestess is always one that I feel like changes her meaning so often. She's a tricky one. She's slippery, and she's meant to be that way, because if you look at the card, it's about secrets. It's about mystical secrets and intuition and psychic knowledge. And I'm dropping cards. I'll get it in a minute. All right, things coming to light this week. Getting some truth, maybe getting some truth about this Knight of Cups individual that you're a little concerned about. And it looks like Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands to me is 9 times out of 10 about communication and messages. I'm having the Page of Swords here too. It's like you're definitely having conversations next to the Ace of Swords. Okay, getting truth about a matter. So all of this is going to give you what you need to be on your path towards reconciliation, towards healing, towards feeling better, towards getting out of the anxiety trap, towards dealing with your mental health, and in a positive way. So this reading is finally, we're getting relief for Pisces. Thank God. Poor Pisces. You guys have had it rough. Let's go ahead and do your card pool, your pick a card for your message from the divine. You're going to choose it, and I will tell you what I think the message is. All right, so we have card 1, card 2, and card 3. All right, so you choose if you need to pause and think about it for a second, but it's going to be card 1, 2, and 3. I will go ahead and start telling you. So I have the 9 of Stakes is the first one. This is like the 9 of Swords. Sorry, I had a moment because I'm like, stakes, staves, they're so similar in this. The 9 of Swords, essentially. This is letting go of the mental struggle, and really it's not about just letting go of it. It's telling you that it's time to have some practices in place that are good for your mental health, and it's some of those simple things that therapists tell you to do, to help with your anxiety. You haven't been doing them, have you? So you need to be doing those, having the techniques, and just go looking things on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Find some really good mental health care techniques for your anxiety, because I do think that for you who chose card number 1, it is still going to be a little bit of a struggle for you, and you need to take care of your mental health. You need to do your self-care. For card 2, it's the Shaman of Waters, which is essentially like the King of Cups. This is saying that now you are in control of your emotions. You have been in a period of time where they've been getting away from you, and it felt like you were drowning in them, but now you're finally to the place where you're in charge of your emotions again, so you feel much better about that, much more emotionally stable and healthy. And then the third card, if you chose this one, the Apprentice of Waters, this is essentially like the Page of Cups, And this one is telling you that there is a beautiful message of love coming to you this week, that you are going to be hearing from somebody some really sweet words. You could be getting like a love letter or a text or a phone call. Somebody could be even telling you that they love you for the first time, or telling you that they're ready for a relationship. So this is not a warning is not the right word, a signal to you, a sign to you that you're going to be getting that kind of message very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again next week.